So we're doing a lot of arches and radiuses on the project we're working on right now. And I thought to myself, what a beautiful time to educate the people. So what we're going to be going over is how I calculate the radius, how I lay it out, and how I frame it up. So to simplify this for everybody, I have a 4x8 sheet of zip here, and I'm just going to make it a 4-foot radius. The first thing you need to do is you need to determine how wide your radius is going to be. So you're going to measure your opening, and then you want to determine how much drop you want. That's going to be the elevation difference from the very peak of your radius down to the sides. So for this one, let's just do like 6 inches and then 4 feet wide. So over that 4 feet, there's going to be 6 inches of difference from the peak down to the corners. I'm going to do this in Sharpie, hopes that you can see it better. Alright, so when you're doing this, we're going to have our 6 inches of drop, right? But we want to add a little bit more plywood so that way we can add framing onto our rough opening and slide this over top of that framing. So you're going to mark your halfway point. Okay, I got a 4-foot sheet. So mark 2 foot, and then you're gonna mark how much drop down you have on your center and on your sides. I'm gonna add an additional 4 inches. So we'll do 4 inches and then plus the 6 for my drop. Alright, so I make a mark at 4 inches. Come down here, my 4 inches plus my 6 inches of drop, 10 inches, 10 inches. Alright, now, you can do this with a chalk box, but this is a pretty small one and I have a straight edge that's long enough, so I'm just going to use that. We're going to mark, let's label these points for you, okay? A, B, and C. So you get from mark A to B, then from mark B to C, and then what you're going to want to do is find the center. My GoPro's having some troubles here. Alright, so you want to find the center from A to B, mark it. B to C, mark it. Then you're going to take framing square, put it along this line. Create a line down. You're going to do that on both sides. Then you're either going to take a chalk box and snap the line out, or if you have a straight edge that's long enough, just continue that line out. This very point right here, where these two lines intersect, we're going to put a nail right at that point and then hook our tape measure on that. Alright, so now you want to hook your tape measure on it and you want to go to points C, B, and A, or A, B, C, whatever the hell. I was pointing to that one, that's why I said C first. You want to go to all 3 of your points and make sure that the measurement is the same. So we got like 49 and 15/16. Same thing there. Same thing there. So I'm just gonna go to 50 to make it easier. This is where the magic happens, babe. On your nail. Get a nice wide stance. Put your marker on your number. And then just let it ride. That's the magic, babe. So now that we have our radius marked out, we'll see if I can cut it. The sharper your radius is, the harder it's going to be to cut with a circular saw. But most of these you can cut with a circular saw. You just set your depth higher and higher, and if it's a really sharp radius, you might only be able to cut half of the depth at once. But it's just faster if you use a circular saw. And the shallow radiuses, it does pretty well, but sometimes it gets a little bound up. But definitely set your depth. It makes the saw easier to turn. You're not as fighting as much as the blade, and it bends a little bit easier. And let's have a go. So now that we have our radiuses cut, we are going to fill the blocks in on the inside. So this is 7/16. We're just going to deduct an inch from the framing because we have two layers. Rather than worrying about that 1/16 of an inch, we're just going to round up to ½ an inch. So times 2, and then you deduct that inch from the size of a 2x4, so that way it sits flush with the 2x4 wall. Alright, so essentially if this is the top of your opening, this is how the plywood is going to slide up to it. It's going to be flush on the front side and flush on the back side. So we need blocks that are that space in between. That's where that 2.5 inch block is going to come in. So obviously, because this is demonstration purposes, I'm probably not going to cut all the blocks. I'm feeling a little lazy, but you should be able to get the gist of it. I'll cut the blocks and show you what I do on the sides, and then I'll hope you guys be able to take it from there. Let's go. Now, obviously, if I was doing this, to actually install it, I would be using a framing nailer with sheathing nails or a big stapler. But right now, I have a crown stapler because it's much quieter. So, yeah, don't make fun of me. But that's what we're doing. Basically, the center of your 2x4 you want flush with the edge of your plywood. The sides of it are going to go back a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. So you're basically just going to want to put these every little bit. Over, get an idea of what you're looking at. Don't put your fingers that close. I'm shooting 1-inch crown staple, so I'm not worried about shooting my finger when it's way down here. But you're not allowed to do that. All right, here we are. So you want to rip down some 2x4s to 2.5 inches. That's going to be one for each side, and then one for the top. Okay. So if you notice, I didn't take this all the way to the end. Sorry. If you notice, I didn't take that all the way to the end. That's so I can slide this 2x4 in there. Take it up to the very top. Make sure it's in line with the edge. I marked that and then I cut that bevel. So I assume you know how to find the angle, but for this one it's gonna be a 26-degree angle. See? Oh, there it is. Yeah, 25 will work. So, made a little frame for you guys. I wasn't gonna do it. I really wasn't. But whatever. Alright, so now the little 2x4 blocks. These need to go in the center of this 2x4 here, which unfortunately. Alright. So now all those rip pieces you cut, you got nailed on your little opening there. You see? Then you're just gonna take this, slide it in that opening, and then once you nail that to those 2x4s, she's locked in, right? And there she is. So this is obviously not the only way to do it. There's string line, a bunch of other things you can do. This is what I find to be the most accurate in getting something that you can recreate. Obviously, on site, I work a little bit cleaner and care a little bit more about how it looks. But I'm doing this for the love of the game, baby. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time, maybe, if I ever make another one.